Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the relationship advice subreddit. The post is titled, "My GF has been lying to me our entire relationship. How do I move on after all these lies? My girlfriend Sarah and I have been together for a little over a year. I recently moved to Houston, but I'm originally from North Carolina and I got a job in Houston. I was nervous about moving, but luckily I had my cousin Nathan there who was living with his wife Sarah. They helped with my apartment search and I ended up choosing the same apartment they lived in. Nathan works the night shift and Sarah and I started spending the majority of the evening together. I started falling for her because we just clicked. I don't know how to explain it. I started noticing the tension and planned on pulling away, but she asked me if I was attracted to her. I told her out of respect for Nathan that I wouldn't answer that. Then she told me she was attracted to me. I told her that if this was just attraction and wanting to get intimate, I didn't want anything to do with it because it wasn't fair to Nathan or their marriage, but she told me it was more than that. Afterwards, I confessed my love and she said it was mutual. After that, we talked about her leaving Nathan for me. As much as it hurts, we knew everyone involved deserved better, or so I thought. It was all a lie. She never did anything and we kept things a secret. At first I thought it was because it was a tough thing to say and I didn't want to hurt anyone, but I told her that love is hard and life is hard. She pushed it off. Still, the truth always comes out. I'm still not sure how Nathan found out, but he found out about us dating. This wasn't how I wanted him to find out, because things turned messy quickly. I wanted him to find out by us coming clean, but he found out on his own. But what I wasn't prepared for was Sarah's complete 180. She is attempting to reconcile with Nathan and has told me that she's sorry she let it get this far, but I meant nothing to her. It was just sex to her. That hurt a lot. I asked her if she loved me and she said no. She said she cares about me the same way she cares for any person but doesn't love me. I'm just in disbelief. Our whole relationship was a lie. I just don't get it. I have trust issues now and my relationship with the rest of my family has taken a hit. My cousin and I are no longer on speaking terms. She did this because she wanted to get intimate. My cousin almost fought me physically over this, but luckily calmer heads prevailed. All this for her to say it meant nothing. It hurts a lot. Yeah, I'll have another said, how can you possibly think you have any leg to stand here? Murky Anxiety said, in the long run, Nathan may appreciate that you helped him discover what kind of person his wife was. Unfortunately, he also found out that you were not much better. Drunk on Red Cordial said, of course, your relationship was based on a lie. You were dating a married woman and having sex with her. Which part of this did you think was honest? You have trust issues. You certainly have issues with behaving in a trustworthy way. This second post was made in the same subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, "I'm finally meeting my online GF after years of talking. A couple of years ago, I met a girl through an online circle. We talked frequently and it was always a great time. She's very passionate about many of the same things I am and is very career driven, which is something I'm looking for. Early last year, she opened up about having feelings for me, which I was receptive to. We started spending more time online together and eventually it got to a point where she would tell her coworkers and family members about her boyfriend. This didn't bother me too much. I'm very interested. However, for me, I had to meet her to seal the deal. Fast forward to Christmas and my gift to her was going to be a trip up to meet her. The trip was very expensive, but it was worth it. We had talked about me going to meet her a few times and I thought it was better that way since she has a lot of anxiety and health issues that would make it much harder for her, especially in the current political climate. Well, that trip happened this weekend. I'm currently typing this from my hotel room where I've spent the vast majority of my time alone. The main issue, the trip to see her started off as I expected. I don't know this city at all. It's a country I've only been to a few times and I was nervous myself. I took a 40-minute Uber to my hotel and expected that by the time I got there, she would have worked out her nerves and be ready to meet me. Unfortunately, her anxiety was extra bad and it took her another 2 hours to work up the courage to drive 5 minutes to come see me. This didn't bother me at the time. I knew it would be rough and I'm a patient person. We met and she was shaking and bawling her eyes out, but overall it was great. We shared some hugs and we drove to her place. She lives with her brother, so I was able to meet him and we chilled out for a little while. Her anxiety was still through the roof though, so we didn't actually do much for the next couple of hours. She wanted to drive around and show me some stuff, but she couldn't. Eventually, she decided I should probably Uber back instead of her driving me. The next morning, I was up extra early. She usually works nights, so I figured she wouldn't be up for a bit. Not knowing the city, I chose to stay in and wait until she was awake. 4 hours later, she messaged me and we talked for a bit. She told me she wasn't quite ready to see me because the nerves were still there. That was fine. I found a drugstore within walking distance where I could pick up some stuff and get us some food at a local spot before meeting up. Fast forward about 2 hours later, and I finally got back to her place. She didn't eat anything and told me that her brother, she, and I were going to go to a get-together and hang out with a bunch of their friends. That was cool. I asked her how long we'd be there, and she said a few hours. We left. It was about an hour's drive. Everyone at her gathering was great, super welcoming, and she seemed really happy to introduce me as her boyfriend. The little party lasted a good portion of the night, but we didn't talk much because I was usually being bombarded by her friends or she was playing a game or something. It was around 10 when we went to leave. There was still plenty of night left, so I figured we'd get to spend the rest of the night together. However, as we got in the car, she asked her brother if it was cool that she took me to the hotel before they went home. He said yeah, and I just sat in shock the whole way back because she was too drained to spend a couple of hours of quality time with her boyfriend, whom she had just met. At this point, it was all starting to catch up to me, and I was feeling pretty bad. I got back to the hotel room and was just confused by this whole trip. I'm alone in a hotel room in a country I don't know with my girlfriend just a few minutes away, not knowing what to do. What the hell is going on? I fear messaging her about it will make her anxiety worse, but at this point, I don't know what to do. I'm set to meet her mom in the evening for dinner, and at this point, I feel like I've met everyone except for my girlfriend, so I messaged her that. She was very apologetic, saying her anxiety was still through the roof and she wanted to make this trip worth it for me, but she was just drained. She made an effort to let me know she is still very interested in everything, but she knows that if we're alone together, nothing would happen because she's just too nervous. She hasn't been in a relationship in a couple of years, so it's hard for her. I told her I don't even want to try anything intimate if that was her fear. I've barely hugged her this trip, and there are a lot more steps in that process before anything like that could happen. I just want to spend some quality time together. She said that tomorrow, after I meet her mom, there will probably be time. All that said, today is my last day here. I leave early tomorrow morning on a flight. I feel like this whole thing has been a waste, and I'm still just confused. I wanted to spend quality time with her, not sit alone in a hotel room for most of my trip. In my mind, she would want to be with me every waking moment of this trip. Our time is so short and we've talked about it for ages, like that was going to be the case. I don't know if the relationship can last after this. Are You On Email said, dude, you have one more night in this city, which you will probably not visit again. I say go out and explore the city with whatever time you have left. Find some cool local food spots and go to a bar or two. Sorry, your trip hasn't worked out like you would have liked it to, but you might as well make the most of what little time you have left. Franjo Manjo said, you had to give it a shot, but it sounds like it didn't work out. You need to be honest and tell her how this made you feel. If she wants to keep seeing you, she's got to travel to you next time. If she's too anxious for that, then you're not compatible and you're wasting your time. MJS said, she needs professional help. I would kindly cancel meeting her mother. Tell her it doesn't make sense to meet her mother because you don't know her. Let her know outright that you feel this trip signals the end of any ideas of a romantic relationship because she is clearly not well enough. Tell her you would love to remain friends, but you are not putting your life on hold for someone who needs to deal with her mental health issues. Honesty is the kindest thing you can do for her. Hopefully, it will put a mirror up for her to make efforts to get the help she needs. Lying or playing along is crueler than being honest in a kind way. Good luck. Update. Yesterday morning, I woke up, made the original post, and waited nervously for her to wake up. It once again took a couple of hours. A little after noon, she finally messaged me. She said we had dinner in the late afternoon with her mother, and I could Uber over to her place whenever. A few of you suggested I should just call off the dinner plans, but I decided to stick with them. I went up to her place shortly after that, and we spent some time watching things together. She was having a better day, so we sat close, and while we didn't do anything, it was some quality time I had been looking for. Dinner with her mother was great. We connected well, and she seemed to be genuinely excited for me and her daughter. We left with a hug from her mom and went back to her place. It was a lot more of the same thing as before, so while it wasn't alone time with her, it did feel more one-on-one, and we had a good time. Was it exactly what I was expecting on the last day of this trip? Not really, but was it nice? Definitely. It was getting late and I was half expecting her to want me to Uber back, but she drove me herself. She helped me confirm my packing for the flight early this morning and we ended with a kiss. We got to texting a bit and we realized that she hadn't taken a photo of us for a frame she had bought. I was pretty sad that we hadn't, and the few pictures of us from that weekend didn't really fit the vibe she was going for. I mentioned that I should just Uber back. 10 minutes later, waiting for a response, and she tells me to come down. Anxiety be damned. She did drive back just for the photo and another goodbye smooch. So overall, it wasn't the perfect weekend, but I'm going to stay cautiously optimistic. I think it was a mistake not to make the trip longer, and I think that would have helped even more. We'll see how things go when she has to decide if she wants to make the solo trip down here for an event closer to this summer. To clear some things up, she is on medication and goes to a therapist. Normally, I wouldn't be into a long-distance relationship, but our likes and interests align well, and it's something I've struggled to find around me back home. My last relationship was decently long and taught me that was something I valued a lot. Thanks for all the comments on the other post. I imagine interest for another update will wane by the time the next trip happens, but that is the time when things will really be make or break. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.